I would echo what Vince and Jeff just said, and that is, thanks to Rick and Dave for, this generous gift. And what I would tell you is, we're not aiming to have the best facility in the country. We're not trying to be Texas with $10,000 lockers. I don't think we're trying to do anything that's lavish or is out of this world. But you want to make a great first impression on the kids that you're recruiting. And I don't think it's a deciding factor, but I do think it is a first impression. And, quite honestly, when you walk in here, there's certain sides to the men's part of this practice facility that are dated. And I'm very appreciative, our staff is appreciative, and our players will be appreciative of the gift and the changes that we're going to see. But I wouldn't call any of them lavish or out of control. We don't have to have the best of the best, but we can't be inadequate at the same time.
What kind of upgrades did you have in mind, Chris, when you talked to the brothers?
Well,
probably just an example or two.
Well, I think that there were some wall graphics that we had to replace that had the old coach's shot on there, and I want the kids that we're recruiting to feel like that I have a little ownership here and I'm not just renting. But from there's just a lot. There's a lot more of a modern look than we can have. We have some antique posters on the wall with dedicated lighting on each one. You look like you're in a 1985 movie theater, and it just is. It's time to change. And again, I don't think it's anything that a lot of the universities that we're competing against aren't in the same ballpark with, and I'm just really appreciative of their generosity to sort of make that happen. You're talking about anything from the look of the practice floor and practice inside the practice court area. You're talking about our players' locker room, which is very small and restrictive. You're talking about the coaching offices, where a lot of times you bring a recruit and their family in there for the very first time. I have a Dunkin' Donuts coffee stain, which is my fault. Nobody else. It's mine. Right in front of the door. So there's just things that we have to get better at.
Chris, how important is the weight room and doing something with the weight room?
It's huge. We have a heavy emphasis on that. Andy could lift our players in a cave. He found a couple boulders. He would figure out exercises, and I'm serious when I say that. But kids that come in from high school, they probably never really had a true weight room experience. They've never had a strength coach, and so a lot of times the bells and the whistles and just the functionality of the layout. Right now you can't do cardio and weightlifting at the same time and have one person sort of in charge of both, because all the cardio machines are on the second floor and everything that you do from a weight room standpoint is on the bottom floor. So unless Kettler is cross-eyed or he can hang out in the middle of the stairwell, he can't really watch our guys do both.
Things were not very grandiose when you were recruited at Xavier. When did things start to change in that regard in terms of the quote sizzle?
I don't think that's an athletics thing or a college athletics thing. I just think it's a sign of our world. That's why my kids have an iPhone in 7th and 8th grade. I mean, it's just, people are spoiled. The kids that we recruit are spoiled.
In terms of when this trend changed in college athletics?
I remember Coach Prosser.
Yeah.
When the Cintas Center got built, and they sort of put the the structure there over a several-month period of time, and the building was $40 million or whatever it was, and we were all complaining there were no graphics on the walls, and we looked like we were at a rec center. And so that's you get these companies that have done incredible things, mind-blowing things with being able to honor tradition, legacy, winning, former players. And the question was asked, like, how long before you have to change out stuff? Because I think a lot of times, recruits, quite honestly, they're not going to know who Purtis Ellison was. Some of them in a couple of years, Tim, won't know who Donovan Mitchell is. They're very 1 or 2 years removed. That's their thinking. So we have to be smart that we don't have to put things on the wall that we have to take down in a year or two. So being able to brand our building with that in mind is really, really important.
You see high tech playing a part in this?
I don't
virtual
know.
reality?
I just worry about underneath out of bounds plays. Switch, so that's why we'll lean on the people that